Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Night Sky. This week for June 3rd. Today is June 4th, actually, but I usually do this on Mondays. But today is Tuesday. I had some technical difficulties yesterday, so I was not able to go online. But I'm here today joining you. I hope you had a great weekend and I hope you enjoyed some stargazing. I actually had some clear skies this week, which was absolutely fantastic. This weekend, I did some deep sky stargazing without the moon in the way. It just is so perfect. So let's jump in. I'd love to see where you're watching from, by the way. Roger, welcome from Albuquerque, New York, New Mexico, I should say, New Mexico, USA. I hope you have some clear skies. You should get some pretty good skies, right? In New Mexico, I think you are blessed with some very nice skies where you are. Here in Montreal, we usually have about 50 to 60% cloudiness in the springtime this time of the year. So whenever we get clear skies here, whenever I do get clear skies, I take advantage and I go out and observe for sure. So first off, let's definitely talk about the auroras. So much activity in early May, and people are expecting more to come. Definitely where I like to go and look is on spaceweather.com. On their website, we can see a live picture of the sun, or at least a near live of what it looks like today. You could see it's filled with freckles. The sun is really busy producing a lot of sunspots. And these dark freckles, these sunspots, are the origins of solar flares and also coronal mass ejections. If there's any of these plasma rich clouds that are thrown out, charged particle clouds of electrons being thrown out off the sun. And if Earth is in the way, we get perhaps geomagnetic storms and associated auroras or northern lights. And you can see all the largest of them. I'm showing you here, circling with my mouse. This one over here, and then a little bit on the lower side, lower just off center. This guy named 3697 was the one complex that really in early May and May 10th caused that beautiful aurora to happen. But since then it's rotated around the sun onto the far side and then has returned now 2 weeks later, because it takes 28 days to make one rotation on the axis of the sun. And so now it's back facing us. This is facing Earth facing, and we're basically prime spot for any oncoming coronal mass ejection that may be thrown off of this giant sunspot. So far, that really hasn't happened. There's no CMEs coming towards us. And also to note is that it's gotten smaller. So this sunspot group is not as intense, not as large as it was on May 10th. It's considerably smaller. If I zoom in, you can see it doesn't have that dark intensity that it had, and there's still some scattered remnants, but seems to be dissipating. So what does that mean? Unfortunately for auroras, my feeling is I'm doubtful that we'll have anything at least in the next week or two, anything as intense as what we had before. I could be wrong. There is this other sunspot group up here that seems to be perhaps growing intensity. I'm not so sure. And there's another group over here, 3703, that is large as well. So we may have something. It's definitely worth watching, but right now there's no indication that there's anything huge. Nothing on the order of magnitude that we saw on May 10th. I would say that's a pretty rare event. I haven't seen anything like what happened on May 10th in at least 20 years, even bettered, probably the best I've ever seen at lower latitudes. The one on May 10th, definitely, but still something to watch for. So we'll keep an eye on the sun, definitely, and watch my timeline. I actually do little solar activity live streams as well. So keep an eye out on my timeline. And hey, if you find value in these videos, give it a thumbs up, share, do all that good stuff on social. And of course, perhaps maybe even subscribe. It would mean a lot if you would subscribe to my channel, allowing me to bring these kind of videos to you live every week. And of course, all those star charts and keeping you up to date on all the good stuff. If you want more stuff, by the way, I invite you to join my newsletter as well. I've just kicked that off. I just had the last June edition clear my desk just a couple of days ago. So a lot of exclusive curated content there for stargazers, beginners, and more savvy ones. Here's a link. I'm going to put it in the comments section so you can join as well. Just click on that link and you'll be, I know it's a long link. I don't know why it added all that stuff, but that's the link to go onto my stargazing newsletter page and just sign up for free. And you can join the hundreds of people who have already on there enjoying some exclusive content from yours truly. I'd love to see you there. And a little note, there may be some special giveaways coming in the coming weeks for those joining the newsletter. So lucky few people may winners of a nice giveaway of some of my books in the coming weeks. So stay tuned to that. Do sign up and you'll be the first to know of what's going on. Why don't we dive into what's happening in the skies this week? Here's the planetarium program, my favorite planetarium program, Sky Safari from folks at Simulation Curriculum. Here is the what the sky looks like. Let me put it here to right now, and I'm in the afternoon on a Tuesday, but we're going to go a little bit after the sun sets. And what I want to actually, before I go into sunset, let's talk about that planetary parade, guys. You've heard of it so much, and I've been doing media stories. I did a story for USA Today that got picked up, syndicated here in Canada on CTV News. I've also been talking about this, all the hype related to this planetary parade, which really is a nothing event, really. I don't think it's any, I didn't promote it really because it's kind of false. You're not going to see 6 planets. You're going to see Saturn and perhaps Mars and the moon playing in there, but the other planets are either too hard to see because of the sunlight, the oncoming sunrise, or you need a telescope or binoculars to see. So here, let me show you what I'm talking about. Here are all the planets. This is about a half hour, 45 minutes before your local sunrise, looking towards the east. We're talking about this supposed planetary parade. Saturn is an easy view, definitely. Mars is also easy with the eyes. It looks like very orange. Saturn looks kind of yellowy. Both look like stars that are visible to the naked eye. And then close here where the sun rises, you can see right there, is Uranus and Jupiter. Look, it's already kind of below the horizon. By the time sun rises, it's too late to see these objects. So this is why these planets were just theoretically, they are there. Yes, they're technically there, but you can't really see them. I'll tell you something. I'll give you a clue. If you wait till the end of the month, you'll see much more of what a real planetary parade could be more like. If we go to the end of June, say around June 27th, 28th, I'm going to go fast forward. Look what's happening to Jupiter. Do you notice that? Jupiter is actually rising higher, farther away from the sun. I'm going to go a little earlier in the morning. Hold on. Just give me until like 5 o'clock in the morning. And then we set this to the 27th. Look at this, 28th, 29th. See, look at that. The moon even comes in the way. Isn't this beautiful? Saturn, the moon, Mars, Jupiter, all in a beautiful lineup. And look, by July 1st, the crescent moon will be joining Mars. So this is a lot better view, isn't it? I think so. It's a lot more pleasant, a lot more interesting to see, fun to see. And look, by July 3rd, the moon and Mars, a very thin, whisper-thin crescent moon and Jupiter, will be together. And if you get up a little bit earlier, you can with a telescope, you'll be able to see Uranus as well. There is Uranus. You need a telescope or binoculars to see that. And there's still Saturn far away, pinning the southeastern skies. So this is, I think, more of a planetary parade, something to see. End of June, beginning of July. Mark that down on your calendar. Don't worry, I'll be talking a lot more about this as the time gets near and putting out sky charts. So just stay tuned for that on whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, X, or Twitch, wherever you're watching. Just stay tuned for those because those are going to be coming up as well. So you might want to hit your notification button and subscribe to my channel to not to miss those shows. Now, turning back to what's happening in the sky, now I'm just going to go here, turn the sky into the evening time. And what is going to be really nice is that the moon will return into the evening sky very shortly within the next few days. Today's Tuesday, the 4th, but let's go Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Look at that. The moon is going to pop back into your early evening sky. This is, again, Friday. Okay, folks, Friday. It's going to be on June 7th. Friday, the whisper thin crescent moon is going to be there. By Saturday, the moon is even higher up, an easier side. I would actually say Saturday the 8th is better. Okay, so Saturday the 8th is better. And what is beautiful, you have this arc of stars that are going to kind of create this canopy or an umbrella around the crescent moon. Isn't that beautiful? You get 3 stars, bright stars, Procyon, Pollux, and Capella. Now, these stars were really great in early spring, late winter. They were higher up in the evening, early chilly nights, but now things have changed. These are going to be bowing out, being lost in the glare of the sunset. But before they do, why not try this weekend on Saturday, either Friday? Friday is this, what's going to look like this, but Saturday, I would venture to say, is an easier time for you to see the crescent moon. Crescent moon with Procyon, Pollux, Capella, 3 stars, each representing their own constellations, the brightest of each of these constellations. Like Pollux is in the Gemini, Capella is Auriga, Procyon over here, Canis Minor. Very nice, interesting, bright stars representing own constellations, helping you to learn the night sky. And the moon, just gorgeous, pairing up with Pollux on Friday and Saturday. But like I said, Saturday, an easier time. So mark that on your calendar, June 6th. Now, one last thing before I leave, gotta talk about deep sky observing, because now, of course, if we just go back to now, Tuesday, and let's go into the evening, there is no moon in the sky, so it's dark. Wait until it gets totally dark. And I want you, if you're a newbie to sky watching, here's a really great trick to finding your way navigating the night sky. Use the Big Dipper. A lot of us learn about the Big Dipper as a child, maybe as a school activity, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, or perhaps with your parents or grandparents. You may have learned that the Big Dipper, this beautiful 7-star configuration that looks like a pan on its side now in the mid-evening, just underneath very close to overhead. Zenith here, you can see, marks the overhead. There's the Big Bear. Big Dipper is just part of a constellation. It's not a constellation. It's incorporated in Ursa Major, the Great Bear. And the Big Dipper, if you use different combinations of the stars, it will point to other constellations nearby. Isn't that the coolest thing? So check this out, guys. So if we would draw an imaginary line from these 2 stars at the end of the bowl, let's say moving off to the right, we find Polaris, the North Star. Isn't that cool? Polaris, the North Star, easily found that way. And of course, Polaris marks the end of the tail of the Little Bear. You can see here, there's the Little Bear constellation with its long tail. I don't know of any bear that has a long tail like that, but in this mythological character, they do. And it's like the Little Dipper, really. You can see it has like a box-like configuration here with the tail marked by 3 stars extending out. Just a miniature version of the Big Dipper, which is right here. So the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper, and draw an imaginary line from these 2 stars in the bowl of the Big Dipper, the end stars, off to the right, and it reaches Polaris. Try that out next clear night. This week, without the moon in the way, you can see the stars so clearly. How about this one? How about using the Big Dipper's handle, and you kind of see that it goes around in like a bend, and then sort of just continue that bend out to the next brightest star. And guess what that is? Arcturus. Beautiful orange star. You can't miss it. It's about 36 light years away. It's part of the Bootes constellation, mythological constellation. And then if you continue that arc to Arcturus, spike to Spica, it's a great little saying to remember, going off the handle of the Big Dipper. Spica is a star main star in the constellation Virgo, the zodiacal constellation Virgo the Maiden, which is now in the southwest southern sky this time of the year in the northern hemisphere. Again, something that you can see in both hemispheres, by the way, Spica, 250 light years away. How's that, guys? Look at that. So a great a guidepost. That's what the Big Dipper is. And I'll show you some more next week too. But try finding Polaris and use the handle of the Big Dipper to arc to Arcturus and then spike to Spica in the skies. Isn't that cool? So try that out if you're learning how stargazing. The Big Dipper is a wonderful guidepost for doing that. So thanks so much for joining me again. Again, check out my newsletter. I've got the link in the comments. Guys, thanks Isaac watching, Tabby, Jackie, Saab, Raquel. Thank you all from Neil from the UK. Go Stargazing is there as well. Thank you. Sign up for my newsletter. The link is there in comments. It's a free kind of curated set of amazing things that you can learn about astronomy and stargazing in the coming month. So check that out. And of course, my books are available on my website, signed dedicated editions of my backyard guide to the night sky, and of course Stargazer's Atlas. All kinds of good stuff there coming your way. Thanks for joining me. I hope you had a great time. Thank you for your allegiance, your loyalty. It means a lot and allows me to bring these stargazing videos to your home every week. Lots more coming your way, more interesting things that I'm going to be putting out for stargazing for you to learn all about the night sky. Thanks so much. I hope you stay safe and healthy. And until the next video, clear skies. Bye-bye.